Ndị be anyị kenenu m unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị nke taata. Daalụkwanụ unu si na-esoro anyị na-eme n'ilu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24. Anyị sị na adịrị nchọ na mma na ya dịka echi na-eche ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrịrị ise ise ise. Dịka o si dị, ya bụ egwu nọzi na kwarapụ kwarapụ. O were nnukwu ya wetara unu ebe akwụkwọ unu ga-ege. Unu ga ya bụ ife. Achọghị m ka a bịakwuo ihe dị n'ime ya. Is a package. When I mean it's a package. Gee ntị ka ị nụ ife ndị House of Assembly na plan ime Tinubu and Biafra exist. Ọ ka anyị na-anakwa ahụ maka obodo tirigo. Obodo tirigo maka obodo obodo ya sago. Gee ntị ka ị nụ ya bụ ife. Achọrọ m ka o si m n'ọnụ pụta. Ụnụ maka o si adị achọghị move CBN to Lagos. But then na-ekwu just gee ya bụ ife. I wetara nnukwu ihe anyị akpọ ya bụ special tea. This one bụ special tea ka anyị na-akpọ ya n'onu ndị be anyị. Over to you.
Who was kidnapped a few days ago on his way back to Lagos along the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. Given the fact that it's just about a week to that election, do you think that his absence will affect your chances? And more importantly, is there an update on his kidnap?
Well, first of all, the update that we have is that our state chairman in Ogun State is negotiating and talking on behalf of the party with the security forces as well as the abductors. We know that Chief Ivuji, our state chairman, has spoken to some of our leaders in Lagos State, so we know he's well, and that negotiations are continuing, and we hope that in a couple of days from now, before the election, that he would have been released.
Well, all right, it's good to hear that. Let's discuss, let's stay on the topic today. It's about the by-elections for February 3rd. I'd like to know what you make of INEC's preparedness for the election, and what are some of the changes, or what changes are you looking to implement if you were to clinch the Surulere federal constituency seat?
First and foremost, we had a very good primary election. So that a legitimate candidate has emerged from that constituency for us, for the PDP. We know that a great deal of the time, the reason why we lose election is because of the intimidation and the sentiments that go into these elections in Lagos State. We are very hopeful that we will win this election because the incumbent, who is now the chief of staff to the president, was very formidable. Is not there anymore, and there's been a lot of rancor in the APC family in Surulere. So we are very hopeful. We have a very strong non-indigenous community in that constituency. And our candidate is very strong in that constituency. So we are very hopeful. So long as we have security and we make sure that INEC assures us that our candidate and our voters will not be intimidated and that they will not be barred from actually taking part in the election. So if that's in place, if INEC does what it's supposed to do and the security forces do what they're supposed to do, we should have a very good outturn and result for this election.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for setting the tone of this conversation. Now, we're seeing this by-election as a three-horse race between APC, PDP, and a Labour Party. So I want to ask what strategies the PDP has in place to stand out and appeal to voters amidst this competitive landscape. You've also touched on security in itself. I wonder if outside of the provisions that INEC is making for these elections, if PDP in itself plans to make sure that its candidates are secure and also standing out from others in this crowded field of I guess fellow people that are trying to win this seat as well.
Well, in Surulere, the Labour Party is essentially an extension of the PDP. And we are hopeful that our members who voted Labour in the last general election will come back to the PDP family and vote with the PDP candidate. That's been our strategy because what we really need to do is to make sure that members of the PDP who were not happy with the party during the 2023 election come back to the party. If they do, many of them are in the Labour Party, particularly in that constituency and in the whole of Lagos State. We are sure to win this election. The APC does not have the numbers to win the election if our people come out to vote and if they are not intimidated. Yes, we are doing the best we can with our own security as a political party, but that is very limited to what the government can do. And that's why we say INEC and the security forces must come on board and make sure that we are not intimidated and make sure that ballot boxes and things like that are not tampered with. If we have a free election, we are sure to win this election.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to hear more about how you plan to bring back members of the PDP who felt aggrieved in the previous elections. As you just spoke to, you said that the Labour Party in Surulere is basically old members of the PDP. So how do you plan to bring back those members? What have you done in the PDP within Lagos State to bring more unity or to bring back members of your party? And I'd also want to ask, because I believe you've been quoted before as being said that the current minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, was part of the reason why Peter Obi, who ended up being the Labour Party presidential candidate, left the PDP. So are there members who are still within your party that are going to disrupt this attempt at unity and reconciliation?
Well, the last election and the evolution of the Labour Party was a unique occurrence. That is over now. And since you've noticed that the Labour Party has not gained much traction after its victory in the presidential in Lagos State, and that is because most of them are members of the PDP. So we've made an appeal to all our members to come back. And, the governorship election, for instance, in Lagos State in 2023 was, a lot of it had to do with both sentiments and intimidation. Sentiments in the sense that definitely Sanwo-Olu would not have won that election if the propaganda that an Igbo man was going to take over Lagos State was not put in place. And so a lot of Yoruba people, whether they are in APC or PDP or the Labour Party, they now rallied around Sanwo-Olu just for that purpose. So that's the sentiment, and that's not there now. So, and then intimidation, of course. Everybody knows what MC Oluomo and co did to drive people away from the polls, to intimidate people, to threaten people. So we hope that all of that, that climate is not the same as it is now. This is an off-season election, so to say, so therefore we are hopeful that things will be more normal. And if that is the case, we have a very good chance of winning this election and bringing our people back to PDP. That is the key for us as a party.
Well, I'm just going to quote you again. You're trying to say you would like to bring back your members back into your party. And a lot of Nigerians have said, is there really hope for the PDP as an opposition party at this point? Because, I recall that you were a former member of Atiku Abubakar, the 2023 Presidential Campaign Council. And recently we've seen members of your party throw their support for President Tinubu, the likes of Daniel Bwala and even Reno Omokri, who the president wished a happy birthday recently. Not to talk of the fracas in Rivers State between the state's governor and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Many have said, they have lost hope in the leadership of your party. Is there still hope for the PDP as the main opposition party in Nigeria?
The impression that the PDP is not a formidable political party comes out of the fact that PDP was so dominant for so many years in Nigeria. We were the only party really that won every election for about 16 years. And so people expect us to be as big and as strong as we were. But the fact of the matter is, as we stand now, PDP is still a very formidable party. PDP is not as strong as it used to be, but for goodness sake, we have 13 or 14 governors. We have about 40% of the National Assembly, House of Reps and senators. And so in many states, we are dominant in the state assembly. So PDP, things are not as bad as they are. When you talk about people like Bwala, and so Bwala was never really a member of the party. Bwala said all the time that he was in PDP and because of Atiku. Now, if you are in a party because of one person, then you don't have any principles. Well, whatever it is. Look, this same Bwala was with me canvassing for Tinubu on the 12th of July on a TV station like yours. And I was in the studio campaigning for Atiku. The next thing I know, a few days later, he's now campaigning for Tinubu, for Atiku. I said, look, so he's not a member of a party, never been. I don't know if he has any political party really. He's a political jobber. I don't think he has any party. There are people who have gone to APC, but not enough to portray the PDP as a weakened party. We are a very formidable party, and in 2027, we are going to make sure we win the presidential, and we are going to make sure that this administration that has been so disastrous for Nigeria in terms of security, in terms of the economy, in terms of governance, has only one term. If he is not impeached, if the president is not impeached before then, he will certainly not go over 2027. The PDP is a formidable party, and the PDP can only grow. As the PDP is growing stronger, it is obvious from the performance of the APC now that it's getting weaker, and by the time we get to 2027, it will be totally in total shambles.
Dr. Pierce, why would you think that the possibility of an impeachment exists at all for the president before 2027?
Well, I have to be hopeful that the National Assembly members will do what is right for Nigeria. And what is right for Nigeria is that this administration cannot stand. The rate of insecurity, the rate at which the economy is going, all the policies that this president is taking. The president we have is not the man that we all thought he was. This is not Bola Ahmed Tinubu of 10, 15 years ago. This man is gone senile. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's destroyed the economy, and the whole country is going down. If you don't see that, you see, the National Assembly is the key. I know it's a tall order to expect them to impeach him, but for the sake of survival of this country, this man must either go, or we have a review of the 1999 Constitution. The National Assembly has a lot to think about for the sake of Nigeria. They don't go there just because they're in a political party. They're not representing a party when they go there. They're representing the people, the interest of the people. If they take the interest of the people to heart, they will think about either putting this guy in order or getting him impeached. Impeached because it seems to me all his appointments are personal appointments. They're not helping the country. He himself doesn't know what he's doing. The economy is gone. Now, the dollar to the naira is, I think, 1,400. The cost of petrol, companies are falling up, unemployment is up. The country is in serious trouble. Something drastic must happen. That's never happened before. We never impeached the president before. I don't think. This will be the first time. Because this is the first time we're having the kind of disastrous administration in the history of Nigeria.
You think sorry, just one more moment, Shaitan. Just a follow-up on that, Dr. Pierce. You think that the state of the economy constitutes an impeachable offense on the president? And then you use a strong word that only a medical personnel can probably, validate as senility. But this is an allegation that many in the opposition, like your good self, have used while he was campaigning. But here we are, almost 8 months after winning the election. The president is agile. His speech is a lot better, but you are still accusing him of being senile. How can you prove that grave allegation?
I cannot prove it, but this is my observation. And if you go into the public sphere, you will find that a lot of people believe in the same thing. We are talking about making appointments that don't make any sense. We are talking about allegations against people he has put in office. Look, you said he won the election, but look, I say INEC gave him the election. He didn't win any election. 31% of the votes were cast and INEC declared somebody winner. That election should have been redone totally. Nobody won that election. INEC gave it to Tinubu, and now we are finding that the man in the seat does not deserve to be there, is not qualified, is not doing his job. The first pronouncement he made on the day he was inaugurated was to take away fuel subsidy. Everybody, economics 101, you know that oil fuels the economy because it fuels transportation, it fuels industries. When you do that, and nobody told him to remove fuel subsidy by itself, you don't do things piecemeal like a child. He was supposed to confront the corruption in the oil industry, as well as then consider removing the fuel subsidy when you have tackled the corruption in the industry. But he just removed fuel subsidy. And we told him, if you don't, Sanusi, former Emir of Kano, did a video recently, similar to what people like myself have said from the beginning. Go to NNPC. If 90% of our foreign revenue is generated from NNPC, and there's no money in the country, then go to NNPC, find out what's happening there. The president doesn't want to go there. Why? Look, if you don't do your job, you're going to be sacked. If you fail on your job, you got to be sacked. Now we give him up to a year. After 1 year, if things go on like this, he needs to go. I know he won't go peacefully. Now it's left to the National Assembly. The people who represent the masses of Nigerians to tell him, you're not able to do this job. And that's why I say senility. Maybe that's not the right word. But he's failing to do his job. He seems unable to do it. It seems he just wanted to be president for the sake of it. Now he's got it. Now he doesn't know what to do. And we're saying based on performance, in terms of the critical things that keep a country going, the economy, security. Now everybody's being kidnapped. Even on my way from mainland Yaba to here, I'm thinking, anything is possible in Nigeria now. One may just be accosted and taken away. Nigeria, nobody is safe. The economy is in shambles. It is time for us to do what we've never done before. Based on performance, Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to go.
Okay, Dr. Pierce, that in itself is a different conversation because he has been sworn in as president, and we just have to just reiterate that when you use words like senile, saying that someone, senile showing weaknesses because of maybe their age or something they're going through, it has to be something that you can prove, and not just stating it on Rise Television. But let's move on from that. You have acknowledged PDP's national strength, underscoring that on a national scale, the PDP continues to be a formidable adversary, while answering Ojenika's question. Now, the party maintains a significant representation in the National Assembly and, like you said, holds sway over approximately 14 governorships, in contrast to APC's 20. Now, I want to ask what you are doing, or what the party is doing to emphasize the need for the party to rejuvenate. What specific reforms or initiatives do you think should be prioritized to revitalize the PDP and enhance its competitiveness on both the state and national levels?
The situation we have now is that we have an acting national chairman. We don't have a substantive national chairman. That is the head of the party. With this acting national chairman, we've been able to go this far. Think about what will happen when we have a substantive national chairman. And we are hoping that the next midterm Congress will give us an opportunity to elect a substantive national chairman who will complete the term of Dr. Ayu, who has, I believe, been expelled or suspended from the party, who is no longer the chairman. So Damagun, who is now the acting chairman, will be replaced by a permanent, substantive national chairman. Once that is in place, you will see changes across board, all over the country. We also have some positions, like the national woman leader, who passed away recently. Those positions, once they are replaced, we will have a stronger party, and we will go from strength to strength. As I said, if we can achieve so much with an acting national chairman at the head of the party, and all the problems we had during that election, 2023 election, and we'll be able to come out of it, and we're this strong, then we're very hopeful that we'll be strong enough, certainly, to win in 2027.
Thank you, sir. You've spoken about some of the problems that the PDP faced in 2023 elections, and people would argue that one of those things was the G5 group, which was led by Nyesom Wike, the current minister for the FCT. And part of that group, one of the only people to maintain his seat, is the current governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde. And it's currently being reported that in the lead up to the PDP chairmanship elections that you've just highlighted, that the G5 group might be having a breakup. Are these rumors unfounded? And do you think these problems or these rumors that are coming up even about the G5 or about other members of the PDP are a sign of serious concern for the party's health going forward?
It was the G5 solidarity that created problems for Atiku Abubakar, why he couldn't win outright in the last election. Now that the G5 is no more, the PDP can only get stronger. We are getting more united because, frankly, I believe that as things stand now, there's only G1, and the G1 is Wike. So he's on his own. The other four are not really with him. Maybe Autumn is with him. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that Ikpeazu, Ugwanyi, and Makinde are not on the same page. These gentlemen are full members of the PDP now. The quarrel was with Atiku. That's over now. Now they are members of the PDP. They are leaders. And once they come back to the fold, as they have done, we are stronger, and we are united, and we are ready to save Nigeria from the disastrous situation we are in now with this APC administration.
All right, Dr. Pierce, you're not a big fan of forming a grand coalition of opposition parties to dislodge the ruling APC in 2027. Do you think that the PDP can go it all alone? And do you think that Atiku Abubakar, for example, will still return to lead the charge, as he has, said that he is available to lead the charge of a coalition of opposition parties against the APC? Do you think that Atiku should just be a PDP member or the grand commander of all opposition parties against the ruling party?
Let me tell you why I don't believe in this merger, as we call it. Through history, I can look at it from 3 dimensions. History has shown us that these coalitions never work. In the history of Nigeria, wherever you see them coming together, it always falls apart. I can tell you also from my own experience of working with merger, in the 2019 election, as we prepare for the 2019 election, various parties came together, called them the Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP. There were about 32 of them. And I was part of it because my leaders in PDP, Professor Jerry Gana and Professor Adeniran, decided to leave the party because of problems at the time. And I felt that I've been a spokesperson for Professor Adeniran, who was running for national chairman against Secondus at the time. And Secondus, and Wike was Secondus' spokesperson, and I was Professor Adeniran's spokesperson. So when we lost the election to Secondus, we were very pressurized out of the party. And I felt it was necessary for me to go with my leader. So we went to SDP. SDP now formed a coalition with all other parties. They were like 32. When you get to this coalition, every party, no matter how small, some of them, their office is in a cubicle somewhere. Some of them don't even have office address. Some of them, the leader of the party, the presidential candidate, is the only member of the party. Now, all of them want to be the presidential candidate. Everybody fighting everybody. So the whole thing was such a mess that nobody survived in the coalition of united political parties. So from that experience and from history that has never worked, I don't see how it can work. Now, if you look at the present situation, people say coalition, you're talking about quantity. We need quality. Quality is a focus on the party that is strong enough. If PDP improves on its own situation.
And by Kenen Monozo, Dalolino, and Isaka Kodakwalo Namozo, Nikasibobo number. Onanuguni Biafra Prime Minister Ukasini Bakubo, Dichiche, Kifu Bastamaka Bife, no Denkegi, Ginikiweleku, Bastamaka Bifendani, Olutagasiaka Dichiche, Bastamaka Biafra ID, and the database. Genkiweleku no Denke Bastamaka Bife, Kabaroke drop or write the comment and the comment below. And cause the area which Eastern News 24, I see when I don't know. Nuko Ziana Bamoninti, Nino.